Well, a very good evening from the home address kitchen. The kitchen I'm in, yes. Um, it's the 21st of February 25, and well, I'm slightly down because I think the mouse has been exterminated. Yeah, I called the mouse. No, I decided to call the mouse Baku. I just thought it was a nice name for him. And it's been since my last upload regarding when I was outside, of course, at the bunker and I was filming the mouse. I think that was on the 10th of February. He'd been back and forth, just as usual. He got to the stage where when he's in the cupboard over there at night time, in the larder of his little foil dish, which I filled with various things. I think I mentioned previously I filled it with oatmeal, sometimes a bit of an oat cake, sometimes a segment of carrots or something like that. A little bit apple, I've given him apple as well. But sadly he hasn't appeared since yesterday. And the dish has been untouched. Now I know that's only one night, but what ties in here is the fact that, well, let me just say, I decided after that last film episode, I said, he looks like a little Baku. So I thought Baku, I think that's some sort of country from the old Soviet bloc. I saw the capital, I think, is it no, Azerbaijan is Tashkent, I think it's, what is Baku again, Andrew? It's not Turkmenistan, it's, I'll look it up, I can't remember. But anyway, I spotted the, well, I'll tell you what, the neighbour had said to me, my next door neighbour had said to me last week, I think there's mice. I said, oh, don't worry about that, it's just one mouse, I feed him. And I'd never seen anyone in such prolonged, stunned shock and silence. I mean, literally, he stood almost like he had frozen to the spot, frozen in time. And I thought, well, I'm not going to speak, let him speak first. And eventually he said, you feed the mouse? I said, yes. I said, I feed him oatmeal and stuff. He comes in, he's not any problem. He'll go away in a few weeks. And sort of looked at me as if they thought, well, I think you're fucking mental. But, anyway, yesterday I happened to be at the right place at the right time, and I just happened to glance out the window and I saw a vehicle, pest control. And I thought, wonder why he's over at that house. And then next bloody moment, the guy came along and chapped at my neighbour's door and was there got his ladder and well, obviously he's put something down, and I think they've murdered little Baku the mouse. Now, I'm really sad about this because, I mean, the mouse does nothing wrong. It makes a little bit mess, but a little mouse of the size of my bloody thumb. And he'll creep around the different parts of the house and stuff, and all right, they can, if they get a bit of a nuisance, say, they can start chewing bloody wires and pipes and stuff like that, but this little mouse is well behaved. I mean, apart from the night, I think it's the 21st of December, where he completely ruined my rice and flour and broth mix and chewed at the apples and the lemons of all sorts. He chewed into the bloody, there was 4 lemons in my cupboard and he chewed every one of them. So, I mean, he really did go to town. So I think, I don't know what he was up to, but he definitely went a bit sort of crazy. But I gave him a right talking to. I stood with him and I said to him, please, you're very welcome in my house, and as you can come here as often as you wish. You can stay, stay as long as you want, but just behave yourself. And this is when he was in that cupboard, the one with shining my camera light on. Well, sorry, the light from the kitchen on. And so anyway, after that very, very firm telling off, after that there was never an issue again. I cleared everything away. I cleaned it spotless, and I stored everything. I bought new stuff and stored it all away in storage jars and stuff, and discarded the rest I couldn't salvage. Well, most of it actually. And as I say, there've been no issues at all. So we've been 11:15 most nights. In fact, I just remember the last time I saw him was just about 10 o'clock on the evening of the 19th of February. So that was the last time I saw him. And it's got to the stage when I open the cupboard door up and he's there. And he doesn't move. He just nibbles. He knows who I am. He knows I won't touch him. So he's nibbling. And I got to that stage that he becomes so used to me, so friendly, that I'm quite sure that if I had given him some nibbles, just like the robin, he would have taken it from my hand. In fact, I would have been the best of friends, and he could have come and sat at the table with me and stuff. And but I think that's gone. Now I've got three options on this one before I jump the gun. There is a possibility the temperature's risen. And generally when the temperature rises, despite the wet weather and stuff, the mouse will depart. So I sort of knew it would sort of go away by the month of March. But the temperature's risen quite sharply over the last 48 hours. So there's a good chance that he's gone outdoors. It only comes in when the temperature sort of goes way down below freezing, hence why I was here in November and stayed most of the winter. But that was one option. That he's all right, but he's fending for himself out in the wilds of the garden somewhere. Secondly, it could have been got by a cat. There's cats roam about here, I think, at night time. So there's a good chance he might have got pounced upon by one of the 2 or 3 cats that seem to sort of wander here. But I don't think that would be the case, because the cats don't normally come out in the sort of wet conditions that we've had over the last 48 hours. So I don't think it's the cats either. But the fact that I saw the pest control man, it sort of fits in with the whole equation, and I'm quite sure that my next door neighbours instructed the pest control people to deal with the mouse. And they've probably put down sort of poison bait or perhaps even a mouse trap, one or the other. And poor little Baku has gone searching for food next door, and he's either been whacked with the metal mouse trap or he's been poisoned, which is not fair, because he's a lovely little thing. He's just a little creature, he's not doing any harm. So I was actually quite, not only am I upset, I'm rather angry with my neighbour, because I mean he may not see it from the same viewpoint as I do, that it's just a little mouse. Maybe the neighbour feels it's an intrusion and encroachment on his property by vermin. I don't know if he sees it that way, but I can't help thinking that it's just an inconvenience. It's a very sad way of living nowadays, where little creatures come into the house like spiders or mice or something like that, and because it's an inconvenience, you just get rid of them, kill them. even flies. I don't kill a fly. I have killed flies in my childhood, in my my teenage years and adulthood, because I was instructed to do so. There's a fly, whack it. And spent time I rolled up newspapers whacking flies. But what I'm saying is that as you grow and you understand little creatures, every single insect on this planet has got just as much right to be here as any of us. And so therefore, when I've got a fly in my house, I will spend time with it, and I will ask it to leave. And generally that works. I speak to it, I say, could you please leave my property? Could you please get out? And normally within 20 minutes the fly is gone from the house. If not, a little bit of encouragement towards the open window or the door is all that's required. And I do that with wasps and everything. When I see a wasp, there's very few wasps going about in the last couple of years, I have to tell you. None. But anyway, what I was going to say was that I'm going to give it another 24 hours. The dish is still up in the... it's got some peanuts in it. That's another thing it likes to eat is peanuts. And the shelled peanuts, not salted. But he's not been back. And I really miss it because not only do I have a bit of a routine with the little mouse Baku, I actually enjoy his company. It's a very, very heartwarming, pleasant feeling, very heartening feeling to find that you've given refuge for a little mouse in your house when the winter's bitter and cold outside, and the mouse is in the house and been fed. And I mean, I was always confident. I had no qualms, no worries about the mouse overstaying his welcome and maybe producing me a litter of young mice. That would maybe got to a point that it would not be quite so easy to manage. And perhaps that was my neighbour's thought, that he thought, well, if we've got one mouse, we might get another one, and maybe end up with bloody 20 in the house. So obviously the mouse, as I said that day on the 10th of February, he was a bit concerned that there wasn't enough food for him, and hence why he had to pop out to the bunker that day to get some oatmeal that I'd left for the birds. So I gave him a little bit extra in the dish, but I got a feeling it wasn't enough, so he must have thought, well, I wonder if Andy's neighbour has got any things worth chewing in his house, and that's probably what's happened. He's probably gone into the neighbour's house and disturbed his bloody cereal box or something like that, or what else the person's got in their house that was edible, and but rather than speak to the mouse like I did and say, don't do this, not nice, you're very welcome, but don't make a mess with the larder, please, will you, mouse? That's what I said to the mouse, and he respected my wishes, and he obviously, as I say, we came to a compromise that I would leave some food and he would leave the rest of it alone. So before I load this little thing, I will update if there's any changes, let's put it that way. But for now, I'm rather sad that the little mouse Baku has been killed. He's been killed just for being a mouse. And that's dreadful. It really is. It's so dreadful just to kill the little thing for... I don't know. I don't see why that's an appropriate reaction to having a tiny little mouse in the house. For goodness sake. Yeah? A mouse that would have left the place by the springtime for sure. As I say, I've had mice in this house before now. From experience, they stay during the cold frosty weather, and as soon as the frost is away, they decide that they can go out and about again. So I'm rather hoping in my heart that the mouse, despite the connection with the pest control people being here yesterday next door, I'm rather hoping the mouse has cleverly gotten out in his outside house somewhere in the garden, and as soon as the cold weather returns, he might pop back in, which I won't mind. But I'm rather hoping that will be the outcome, and not what I fear that he's been, executed for being in somebody's house. I mean, I've had mice come to my house for over 20 years at least. I'm very used to them, and as I said already, they come and then they go, and they're very welcome. And I think back in the upload for the gathering on the 10th of February 25 that I loaded, I mentioned 2012, but I didn't go into the story because Mr. Robin arrived at the doorstep looking for some cheese. But what I was going to say was, back in 2012 I was sitting on my couch and I saw the little figure over by the door, and it was the mouse, and he came to introduce himself. I say he, it could be a her, but I just, for general sake, it's the little mouse came in and said, "Hello, my name's such and such, and I'm going to be staying in your loft, Andy, probably for about 3 months. Is that all right?" And I sort of nodded my head and said, "Yes, that's fine." But strangely enough, in my publication of my book, Silhouette and Genius, in 2012, I'd already included a piece based on a previous experience, and simply it was about the mouse. I'd like to hear this little thing, and this is a vocalised version of the written piece, which is in my book, as I say, published in 2012. It's a little piece entitled "The Shoebox."
This poem is called "The Shoebox." Upon his head he wore a dusty crown. Shoebox from attic I carried down. Box-like baby cradled in arms. Moment to discover his inward charms. Some parting treasure perhaps to find. Cardboard shawl drifts behind. Upon the ladder snakes to floor, carefully closing attic door. Steps below in breathless wonder, gently wake box from annual slumber. Cap to move, my hands so tremble. What is this mess I find assembled? Shoulders stiff, I wrestle to ground. My face reveals a lasting frown. A precious certificate lies in tatters. The mouse reveals her midnight patters.